Do you guys hear this rain? I hope that it's not too loud. It just started pouring. Is it ambiance or is it obnoxious? I guess I'll find out in post. What is up, guys? Welcome back. I cannot believe I am saying this, but it's gonna be 2021 when you're watching this. I did see a really funny like viral tweet that went, I don't know, all over Instagram that was like, look, nobody say the 2021 is your year, okay? Just move really slowly, don't touch anything. And I was like, all right, heard. But there have already been some really lovely things happening lately, and I don't think that it's jinxing it to say congratulations to Leanne and Grant. If you do not watch Leanne Says, she's linked on my front page. She's a friend of mine. They have been on an IVF journey for, oh my God, at least the better part of the last year. IUI before that, a fertility journey ever since they got married, and they finally announced that they're pregnant. And I can't talk about it for too long because I will get emotional, but you should definitely go watch that video because it is fantastic and so wonderful, and I'm so happy for them. Also, there is some new merch. I did the fjords. For those of you who don't want to stress people out, I call it the Better Angels edition. We're listening to our Better Angels and not stressing people out. And then there is my preferred version, which is the chaotic version, which is backwards. I have no idea why I decided to do that, but I just felt like it looked better in my heart. And then an old friend of mine said she bought the chaotic version because her Aquarius energy knew that she would wear it in the mirror and fix it. And I was like, that is the best thing I've ever heard. So pick your fighter. The only thing is Teespring is just like out of certain colors here and there. So if there's a color that's out of stock in your size, just wait. I'm sure they'll restock it. I'll let you guys know. But yeah, thank you to everybody who has been really excited about that. So the meat of this video, today is going to be my first ever Project Pan. I'm starting Project Pan because it is the exact opposite of my personality. My makeup collection is massive. Most of it is just swatched or used a few times. I get my favorites, I move on. And I just like to have an encyclopedic knowledge of what's out there. I have gotten very, very far away from the personal collection of makeup, user experience, building a relationship with a product kind of thing, and I just want to remember what that's like. So I have chosen 5 products today. I'm going to be putting them on my face among other things, and we'll be talking through why I like these products, why I chose them, and I think that the face of makeup that comes out of it is something that I can get used to loving and wearing on an everyday basis. And yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and move you guys in and we will get started. The candle of the day is rose-colored glasses from Voluspa. You can't really see it, but it is quite lovely. Anyway, let's start with foundation. This is gonna be kind of hard because I'm not sure, and if somebody could inform me, how are you supposed to show progress on something that has a translucent bottle? I mean, a lot of things have translucent bottles. This isn't just like, you know what I mean? I'm not sure I'd be able to show progress on many of these things, even if I were to choose a different one. So there's gotta be a way. Am I supposed to like weigh this? Either way, this is the Arrive Skin Boost Perfecting Tint. I went with the options that I went with for Project Pan, not because I was sick of looking at a product or something like that, but honestly because I have become a mom fairly recently, and there actually has become a necessity in my life for a bag of makeup that I keep outside of my channel makeup. And I've never really thought about my makeup that way before. I've always just come to this room and put my makeup on and always kind of treated it, even if it was just for me, just for that day, I've always thought of it as, well, this is still technically work. I'm kind of taking whatever these products are for a drive and possibly using this as an opportunity to experiment with some different products worn together and, you know, maybe apply that forward to another video or something like that. But makeup has become more for me recently than it has been in a really long time. I think that when I was off duty, a lot of times I wasn't wearing makeup, and that was actually fine with me, and especially during the summer and stuff like that when it's just so gnarly hot here, I don't really think about it. But now makeup has become something that is, I don't know, it's part of what makes me feel like I've gotten ready for the day. There is a huge temptation in my life and in my routine to just sit in bed with my baby all day, and my back starts to hurt, and I eventually by about 11 a.m. get really like frustrated and angry and resentful, not of my baby, but of just like my routine for being so difficult. And I realized that if I just get up, make my bed, get my butt dressed, feed myself, feed my baby, and then just throw on a little bit of makeup, it's actually like pretty good for my psyche on the long term. I will say, I expected this to be a slightly better shade match long term. I feel like it matched me better a little bit like earlier in the year. And now it is, I mean, there are only 5 shades in this line. So, I mean, it's not really expected that it's going to be a perfect match. But I do think that it's like a little bit too dark for me, just a little bit. So we will remedy that with concealer, hopefully. But yeah, there's just been a separate makeup bag that I have used to put my makeup on downstairs where I can see the kid, because moving a baby around is just like not that fun. You know, it's not hard, but once they've fallen asleep or something like that or gotten entranced by the ceiling fan, it's kind of better to let them just do what they're doing. So anyway, that is this foundation. Again, anybody who is familiar with Project Pan, let me know how I'm supposed to be able to show progress on this. Is it like, do I let all the air get out of it? Whoa, no. Huh? Okay, that kind of works. Aha. Okay, so, ooh, this is actually like quite possible. Dangerous, but possible. Oh my God, are you kidding me? That's how much product I have left. About 2¼ inches from the top is when I'm squeezing it, when it actually starts to come out the top. Is that a way, is that how you do it? If not, then I mean, that's the only way I can think of outside of like putting it on a scale, which is kind of boring. So the next product is the Kosas Revealer Concealer, and I'm using these two together because they make an amazing combination. I've talked about that multiple times. They have similar formulas in their waxiness and their siliconeness and or lack thereof. You know, their ingredients are similar enough that they jive really well. They both have a pretty good dry down on their own, and so I don't feel like I have to powder them. I could if I wanted to, but I think my plan is to kind of lean on these in my videos when they're not the star of the show, essentially, to get through them. So for example, if I'm trying out an eyeshadow palette and nothing else really needs to be tested in that video, I'll just go into my Project Pan pile and get one more use out of it. I am not one of those people with a bullet journal, no shade. You bullet journal people, you are a breed, okay? And I really admire you guys. I look up to you, but I cannot possibly like be bothered to like track my usage of something. That's just, what was it the other day? Oh my gosh, there was something I was watching. I think that it's all these people with their new, like, oh, I got a new planner for the year. Oh, I can't be bothered with a planner. No. You should see my notes app on my phone, because that is the way that I think, is like I write something down and then I'm like, hey, there's a search function, so I can just find that again later when I decide I have a new thought to add to it. But like the amount of grocery lists, the amount of favorites lists, the amount of video ideas lists and things like that. Like I have tried to put together a content calendar and I just never stick to it because it's not my personality. But anyway, you saw how beautifully that just blended in. I feel like these go together beautifully, not just in the formula, but also in the shade. I feel like this balances everything out a little bit and it has just enough coverage. I use the shade 01 and you cannot even see, I don't think, and this is a very liquidy formula. Can you see that? It's like, yeah, it's right there. And I guess I have to mark that with a marker, right? Is that the whole idea? I will do that for the next video. So the next video is not gonna look anything like this if you're unfamiliar with Project Pan. This is me just kind of introducing the products that I'm gonna be using, but the next ones are going to share progress. And maybe, I mean, do you guys want me to use each of these as an opportunity to do a look, like a new look each time? That could be fun, right? I'm gonna use a sponge. Man, they sent me this beauty blender and I remembered how fast beauty blenders are. I do love a brush, I really do. I like to have the control, but this contour is so forgiving from Salt New York. And there's actually no point in putting that in Project Pan because I know I'm gonna pan it anyway, it's not a challenge. That's another thing, is I'm not including any of the products that I very obviously easily burn through, that I use all the time no matter what kind of thing. I guess I'm kind of turning some of these into products like that. Because if you look underneath my videos, I pretty much always use the same mascara, I pretty much always use the same brow pencil, I pretty much always use the same brow mousse, and I always use my Kackie lip liner. Like those are my mainstays that I just like don't really think is like an exciting thing to, oh, is she gonna pan it? Of course I'm gonna pan it, you know? It's like I use those like I use the same moisturizer every day or something. So yeah, I use Salt New York pretty much any time I do a cream look, just because it works how I think. it's a paint palette, you know? And it's like, if I think in shade and light, it's right there with me. I don't even use, I'll be honest, I don't even use the Salt New York blushes that often, not as often as I use the contour and the bronzer. The contour and the bronzer are just mainstays for me, and while I think that the blushes are really, really beautiful, I like to switch my blush up all the time. This is something that I'm gonna use every single day. That's why I organized it the way that I did. So I'm gonna go into the light bronzer here. And every time I've watched myself do this part of my routine in a video lately where I use the contour and then I use the light bronzer, I always think, God, I could just stop right there. And I know that's blasphemy because I always put on so much blush, but I am not mad at just the completeness of my complexion with just the contour and this particular bronzer on, because this bronzer is so close to my skin tone and it's almost a peachy blush, you know, or a nude blush on me. See, like I could ostensibly stop there. I'm not going to. Okay, hair, what are you doing? What are you doing, you silly? All right, the next thing that's going in Project Pan are these. These are the Triple Threat Color Sticks from Thrive Cosmetics, and they are in the shades Isabella and Tessa. I chose these again because they are going to be so easy for me to wear in so many different instances, because they are a really, really beautiful formula that is easy to put on top of both cream and powder, but also the combination of these shades is just very native to my skin. So if I want to go for something a little bit lighter, I can just use a little bit more Isabella. And then if I want to go for something a little more fjordsy, fjordsy's a word, then I can go with more of Tessa. But like that's springtime on my face right there, you know? I think that the whole idea of a Project Pan is finding things that are kind of seasonless and appreciating them, figuring out how to make things really flexible, and also just, again, getting back into a mindset of if I were a normal makeup consumer, and I mean that, I mean normal in the sense of not an influencer, not somebody who's burning through product for professional reasons, then, you know, what would the products be that I would choose to use that I wouldn't get sick of and that I would want to repurchase when I did finish them, kind of thing. And that's how I hope I feel about all these products. Especially since they're so easy to put on. Like, look how easy that was. That was crazy. That is how much I have left of that. So I think I'll do what Kyla does. I'm not sure if that's like a thing everyone does, but she's taken pictures of all of them. After this, I will take pictures so that I have pictures to insert in the next videos, but there's not really much point in doing it for this. Okay, and Tessa, I'm gonna go pretty light on Tessa just because I'm actually really liking the pure peachiness of Isabella for today. But this is a beautiful berry wine kind of shade. Okay, the highlighter that I'm choosing, and I'm choosing it because A, it's brand new, but B, it's tiny. So we'll see if we can make this work. Do I have something in my teeth? Do I? No? Okay. This is the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in Opal, and I bought this during the Sephora sale, and I want to make more use of this. However, something I did notice about this was that it's actually a little bit too deep to use everywhere on my face. I was not expecting that, but like in the video where I put this on the first time, I put it on my upper lip and I was like, okay, now I look like I have a mustache, so I'm not really sure how I feel about that. But it is a beautiful shade, and I want to integrate it not just in my face, but also, you know, in my eyeshadow looks and things like that, and just see how long it takes me to work through that. So yeah, this thing is, for all intents and purposes, perfectly brand new. Okay, so the eyeshadow palette for my Project Pan is the No BS palette from PYT. I kind of knew this one first. This was the one where I was like using all my stuff and I was like, this is pretty much the only palette, maybe the warm version of this, that I could see using on an everyday basis and it being really wearable for me, because the shades are so fair. They're very, very agreeable to my skin tone, and they're very stress-free, and that is why I chose them. And you can see this has already had a lot of love, and I've had it for a long time. It's probably quote-unquote expired, but I'm putting myself at risk. I'm not, do as I say, not as I do, but this is the easiest palette for me to get a look out of. I mean, I think that Rose Quartz from Aether would probably also have been a really good one, but there's something about this that even on my dumbest days, the way that this is set up, it's a format that I can always do mindlessly. So we're gonna go for the taupey situation here. It's just our basic starter pack today for Project Pan. And these shimmers, you could stick your whole daggum finger in, no problem. They are super, super beautiful. These are not as creamy or high impact as the Warm palette. The Warm palette, they're almost like rich, shimmery, foily jewel tones, and these I think are more satin, but I think that that also makes them more amenable to mindless application, which is what I need. I'm doing an everyday look, like trying to plan around that. So I am just doing that with a brush, but you can just pile them up. And you can see, like I said, that's super agreeable to fair skin. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. And then I will take this shade right here and do my crease. I always approach this palette the same way. I mean, unless I'm really trying to think outside the box, but it's like shimmer and then a matte in the crease. And this lends itself so beautifully to that. You can tell because I'm, you know, making actual sentences, and it looks easy, you know? So I am going into the opal highlighter here, like I said, and this is going to be something that I try to integrate more into my eye looks. Ooh, it's so pretty. It's like a really neutral taupe color. And I think you could argue that I went for cool tones in this entire collection. Yeah, I think that that's a fair assessment, and that is because, again, I just wanted everything to be really cohesive. This is not in my project pan, this is just a mainstay in my life because my eyeliner, I know I could get an eyeliner out of the PYT palette, but it just won't stay as long as if I use the Thrive. The wear time on Thrive eyeshadows is honestly like second to none. They're a little harder to apply because they are so pigmented, but they're waterproof, so I feel like that's the trade-off. This is actually an instant pan. Oh no! Instant project pan. So this is my Thrive brow pencil. They did send out some gift cards to their kind of extended Thrive family at the end of the year, and so I do have a gift card to use on site, and I will be using it. Oh, and I went yesterday and I got my Spock brows fixed, so it takes a couple of weeks for Botox to fully kick in, but you guys should notice that my eyes stopped doing that weird thing, my eyebrows stopped doing that weird thing that they were doing. I just couldn't, I don't know. It was okay, like I was able to make it work with makeup, but when I washed my face and I looked at myself in the mirror and my eyebrows were like down here and up here, I was just like, nah, that's not gonna work, fam. Sorry. Especially since it's such an expensive thing to do. I wanted it to be perfect. My lips though, my lips are making me really happy. I feel like the nuanced differences between the first time and this last time, I'm very, very, very pleased. All right, gonna do a little mascara. This is, again, not part of my project pan because it's something that I know that I'm going to pan as a mascara. I mean, when I say pan, I'm not going to like run out of it, but I will always use the same mascara, the Thrive mascara, until it dries up, and then I will replace it. And this is, again, in the shade Crystal, dark brown. And this is another one that I think is about done. It's my boy brow. I have several of these lying around, but I think this one is on its way out. Okay, and the only other thing left to talk about is lips. And I went ahead, like I said, I am going to just be using my lip liner all the time. It's just how it is. But I went ahead and decided to start with a brand new lip gloss because lip gloss is something that is very easy for me to burn through. I have absolutely no problem finishing a lip gloss. I just kind of have to pick a favorite. And I feel bad because in my whole Clean Routine 2019 thing, I ended up decluttering a bunch of Fenty, which was stupid because their gloss bombs are so beautiful, but they just came out, she just came out with the Gloss Bomb creams, and they are utterly gorgeous. And so I'm redeeming myself for decluttering those by putting the Fenty Glow that I just bought in my project pan. So this is brand new and this formula is so gorgeous. I've only used it for a couple days now. Oh my gosh. I like that so much and I like the color so much. I'm actually, man, I will say 2020, which is bygone now, was the year of lip products for me. Oh my God, what great lip products. I think every year is a cheek product year. But outside of that, 2020, I discovered so many great lip products. And one of them actually, guys, I need to mention this. This isn't in my project pan or anything like that. Where is it? Oh, guys, oh my gosh. I think we need to do like a 90s glam look. Would that be fun for you guys? Would you enjoy that, where we just do some really good all matte situations? But I unboxed this. It was the only thing from M Cosmetics that they had sent me that I hadn't gotten a chance to use yet, and I kind of lost track of it. I was like, wait, that's a shade that I haven't opened. Rose Nude in their Infinite Lip Cloud. Y'all know it's hard for me to want to pick up a matte anything, but look at that freaking color, okay? It's gorgeous, and I cannot wait to put it into a look for you guys because it's so, so perfect. So anyway, I do feel like I need just a touch, a tibbity touch more under my eyes. My goodness. Maybe there too. All right. Okay, so can you see how this is such a daytime face of makeup? And how it all, if I hadn't been running my mouth the entire time, goes on so quickly and mindlessly. You might even argue that if there was something going on with my baby, I could stop at certain points or only use certain parts of that routine and be totally fine as well. Because that's kind of what ends up happening, is you think you have time and then you don't end up having time because you get an interruption and then 3 hours are gone. That's having a baby in a nutshell. So yeah, I think that this offers me a lot of versatility. So to recap, we have the Arrive Skin Boost Perfecting Tint, the Kosas Revealer Concealer, the Thrive Triple Threat Color Sticks in Isabella and Tessa, the Becca Opal Shimmering Skin Perfector, the PYT Beauty No BS Eyeshadow Palette, and the Fenty Gloss Bomb Cream in Fenty Glow. So that is my, I don't know, maybe too ambitious. This is just the face of makeup that I'm going to try and lean on when other things are not being tested and or I'm not on camera that day. This is just gonna be the look. Let me know if you guys want to see different looks with these products going forward in my project pan check-in, so that it's not just like, here guys, this is how much I've used of this, here guys, this is how much I've used of this, because I don't know, it's not, maybe not that interesting. But you know, if we could play with different colors and maybe use every single product in here but also add in other things, let me know, give me themes, give me ideas, whatever. And I've also heard that people kind of like rotate things in and rotate them back out and kind of change their minds and stuff like that. I love the idea of flexibility. Being an Aries is to have a tendency towards extremes and want to be perfect, and I'm actually excited about the idea of pushing myself to not only create these relationships with these products, but also to give myself the leeway to be imperfect. So here's to 2021 being a whole new ball of wax for me and all of my Aries tendencies. Let me know what you guys think, and if you have any suggestions for the format for these videos going forward, because I just think that this is gonna be a fun thing to do throughout the year. I'm gonna do these check-ins monthly, and if there are also any other things that are part of Project Pan videos that you find valuable, like the way that you like measure the product and stuff, which by the way, I should have shown you guys. Tessa, I have that much of Tessa left. But yeah, if there's anything that you think of like that, let me know too, just so that I make sure I hit all the marks on the actual format of the video. But thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy it, give it a thumbs up. If you want to keep hanging out with me on this channel, hit the button down below and subscribe. I would love it if you did. Thank you for watching. Thank you for hanging out with me. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.